Andy Lee versus Billy Joe Saunders, the WBO World Middleweight Championship, December 19th at the Manchester Arena. Tickets on sale now at frankwarren.com. Or to watch on TV, subscribe at Box.
This is James Holder, Firefield TV, in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. We're at the post-fight press conference. Billy Joe Saunders has just won the WBO World title against Andy Lee, as well as Liam Smith's great, fantastic performance against Jimmy Kelly. Frank, how you feeling, mate?
I'm feeling good. You know, nice Christmas box.
I bet.
You know, our guys come through. Bill won the fight. Won a really boxed very intelligently in a very compelling fight.
Yes.
You know, a lot of it was like a game of chess at some moments, and you know, I enjoyed the fight. I enjoyed watching it, and I thought Bill boxed extremely well. And he beat Andy, who's one of the nicest guys, one of the classiest guys you can meet in sport. Shame not to be a loser from that point of view, but good for Bill.
I'm glad you said that about Andy Lee, because I've got to stop spending so much time with the fighters, your fighters, the other fighters. I really start to like these guys, and I'm sitting there after a bit.
To be honest, you watch it sometimes. It's the same with Jimmy Kelly. You know, obviously Liam fought him, and you sort of think, you know, you want competitive British all matches because that's, or you know, right, Andy's case, it's Irish, but you want those type of fights. But it's a shame sometimes there's a loser, but that's what the game's about. It's about winners, and those two guys done extremely well, boxed extremely well, and deservedly the world champions.
There was a lot of questions being asked. Could Billy Joe Saunders stick to the tactics for 12 rounds? Andy Lee, as we know, he's got them equalisers in both hands. Could Billy Joe keep him off? Do you think Billy Joe's answered them questions with flying colours today?
I think he answered them, and also showed he's got bombs in his hands. I mean, there was two good punches. At one stage, I thought that fight was going to be over. When one more knockdown, it's all over.
Third round, as you said, just coming to that now. That left hand that he hit Andy Lee with was ferocious.
And you could see he was going to. You could see him. You know, you could see he was going to. It was right, but you could see he was rolling, looking to roll it over, and that was his vulnerability because he kept dropping his hand a bit. But it was, you know, he boxed well.
Now you've had Billy Joe Saunders since he became a professional boxer. You've guided his career from fledgling and Liam. Good point. I was going to come to Liam. We'll come to Liam. But what does it feel? How satisfying is it to take a kid from the amateurs to world champion?
I get a kick out of that. I've always said that. It's one of the things I like doing, is actually being part of their career, helping them and guiding them, picking the right fights at the right time. And you know, I think we're pretty good at what we do, all my team, and you know, it's quite satisfying tonight.
Come on to Liam Smith. I mean, he won the belt against John Thompson ferociously, wiping him out. His first defence, Liam Kelly, tough man, little bit of an unknown quantity in terms of we've not seen him on TV as much as some of the other fighters. But one thing's for sure, he came and gave it a go to like Jimmy Kelly, didn't he?
He did, Jimmy. I thought he actually put some good shots together. Tried hard, and mate, who knows, a bit more experience. You know, I think he'll come on a bit. You know, there's no disgrace in losing the world title fight. He had 16 fights now.
That was his 17th contest.
17th fight, so no disgrace at all. You know, I've seen guys lose. I've seen fellas knocked out in one round come back and win world titles. So I like Jimmy. I think he's a nice kid, and you know, we will certainly make sure that we're involved in re-establishing him.
I thought he carried and handled himself very well, not just tonight, throughout fight week.
He did, very decent boy.
He's a nice fella, and he backed up what he planned to do, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He didn't come to like make up the numbers. He did come to fight.
Before we talk about what's next for your two world champions that have been in action today, I want to just run through a little bit of the card. Very disappointing for Mitchell Smith's point of view, for George Jupp's point of view. Very good night for him, but very disappointing for Mitchell Smith. Where does Mitchell go from here?
Well, if he don't learn from that, he might as well pack it in. You know, I was quite disappointed, to be honest. I mean, he was looking in there, loading up, looking to unload bombs, and he thought that's what he was going to do. And boxing's, it's not just that. From what I understand, there's some things behind the scenes, and he needs to address them. And I want to be sitting down with him and his team, because we've invested time and money, and he gets well paid for his things. And he's a you know, I love him, I love watching him. I think and I've sort of put my sort of head on the block with him, telling him he'll be I think he'll be the next big thing. And I was very disappointed in him. And so we're going to sit down, and there's certain things that have to happen, and if they happen, then I want to get in. We get behind him and and get him going. But he's got a lot of things to look at, and if he wants to be a success, he needs to listen to people. Because I've been in this business a long time, I've seen it. Everybody thinks they know it all, and all that they always wind up falling over.
Undoubtedly, he's very talented. He's got the talent and the ability. Yeah. Is it a case of putting the things in the background that is sort of away from boxing, right?
Preparing for a fight professionally, properly, and listening to the people. You have a trainer who trains you, you've got a manager who negotiates on your behalf, a promoter who does what he does. His job is to get in there, he's got the hard part fighting, but if he's not giving his 100% and everybody else is, then it's never going to work.
What other fights on the card stood out for you tonight? Sorry to interrupt you, Liam Dole-Williams against Chris Cartlaw, fantastic win for him.
You look, he's come back from that bad hand injury, he's been out for nearly a year now. He was told he was never going to be able to box again. That was phenomenal. He's a good fighter, there's no doubt about that. And Gary Lockett, who I think is a great trainer, has done a fabulous job with him. I thought Tommy Langford was,
he's coming on very well, Tommy Langford.
I tell you, he's a good fighter. But you look at who he's beaten as amateurs. He's beaten Callum Smith. Slipped in my mind the rest of them, but he's got a few good wins.
He's got a few good names on his
gut, and he's suddenly settled down and he's starting to look a really good pro. Paul Butler, I think it was a brilliant performance. I mean, he stopped a guy who's never been stopped before, and him and Jamie Connor's he's bubbling up to be a big fight next year.
That's going to be a great fight.
Yeah,
that's going to be a great
good
fight.
Fights there.
Let's talk a little bit about Billy Joe Saunders. I know you're going to have the time to sit with him and talk about it, and Daniel and whatever else, but do you see him going straight into a big fight in February, Frank?
I don't know yet. I mean,
March, excuse me.
I don't know yet. We'll have a look and see what's on the table, and then we'll make a decision. You can always say this is not a sprint, this is a marathon, and we just take our time and hopefully make the right moves.
Liam Smith, he's been quite vocal in the fact he don't want to fight British guys. He wants some marquee names. He wants to sort of.
But that's not a problem. They can be delivered. But it's like I always say, it's about it's about not just winning the world title. It's going on defending it, and try and get yourself become a bit of a legend like Joe Kawasaki or Naz. Guys who held on to the titles for a long time, and that's what I'd like to see all of them people do. But it's about picking the right fights at the right time.
Does that come down to the job as the manager and the promoter in choosing the right opposition when you feel it's the right time to get that opposition?
Doing that. I mean, I always say anyone can make a world title fight for a fighter.
That's right.
You've got to win it, and you've got to be able to defend it, and that's what the art of it is.
Do you think Liam Smith versus Miguel Cotto is a realistic fight?
If that fight could be made, I'd make it in a heartbeat. Or Billy Joe against Cotto, either of them.
Just want to come a little bit on the post-fight press conference today. It was fantastic that Andy Lee came in, as we spoke about. He's such a genuinely nice man.
He's a really nice guy. I mean, you just couldn't say a bad word about him. He just oozes with class, and I wish him all the best for the future. Who knows, maybe make a rematch down the road.
I was going to ask that. Any rematch clauses? Is there anything in the current as it stands?
Nothing at all. We gave, through Bill stepping aside, the deal I had with Adam Booth was that we would this fight would have to happen, and we forced the issue. I don't think deep down they really wanted to fight. They were looking at other things, but we forced it and made the fight at the right time.
Golovkin's been vocal in the fact he tweeted out he would like the winner of this fight. Obviously, him and his team are going to look for the big fights, and this is one of them now.
Listen, there's that old adage, money talks.
Indeed.
So send us some money to talk to.
Speaking of people that like to give their opinions, we've seen some tweets from Chris Eubank Jr. He's been very vocal, saying that world title Billy Joe Saunders 2016. Let's make it happen. What's your initial response?
Well, I'm going to tell you, we had a rematch with Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubanks Jr., which would have given the winner of that fight the opportunity to fight Andy Lee tonight. We had that fight made. His father, Johnny English, would not vacate the WBA interim title, so the fight didn't happen because of that. We couldn't make it happen, and we'd agreed all the terms, but that tells me they didn't want the fight. And then he went on to vacate it. Was it when I fought a 40-year-old guy, and then fought Spike, who's a nice guy, but Bill's beaten both of them. He talks a good fight, but you know what he's going to do now? He's going to fight. Is it Luke Blackledge?
He's going to fight Nick.
Sorry,
Blackwell.
Nick Blackwell.
The current British. That's no worries. The current British champion.
Okay,
Nick
it was a
Blackwell.
nice guy, and you know, it's fantastic, and good luck to him, Nick Blackwell. But how can you talk about fighting Golovkins and all this, and then you're going to go and fight for the British title? How do you justify that? If the fans stand for that, then they're nuts. You know, that tells you the ambition level of it with more. You know, Bill has, you know, he didn't have to fight Chris Eubanks Jr. He fought him. He wanted it, and he fought him. And now he's in a position where he's world champion, and he's done that because he listened to advice.
Indeed.
And let us do the job outside the ring. Let's hope that Johnny English does the same for his boy.
From a personal point of view, last but not least, how sort of proud are you of Billy Joe Saunders? And I could see sort of
I'm
a
proud
little
of it.
moment in the press conference when he was speaking about the job you've done with him.
Yeah, but we
etc.
are, because first of all, you think about it, is that you know, he fought in the Olympics. He was 18. Was he 18 when he signed for me? Yeah, he's won the British, Commonwealth, European. He's done it all the hard way. Fought himself into a mandatory position, and he's been you know, he's been a joy to work with. Not because he's done everything I said, but you know, all the suggestions that have been made, he's listened to them and gone along with them, and we've delivered. And he's made himself a few quid, which is the name of the game.
This show was obviously broadcasted in America on Show Sports.
Show time.
Sorry, excuse me. I'll try that again. This show was obviously broadcast in America on Showtime. Is there more plans for that to happen again on repeat shows?
We have. That was a standalone deal, but we've done a deal with Showbox for the Showbox series that we are doing reciprocal fights over the next year. They're getting our shows. We're doing their ones on BoxNation.
Okay.
So our guys are going to get valuable exposure. You know, it's a really good deal for our fellas.
Listen, I know you're very busy. I can imagine how many people want to talk to you in a minute.
Well, he's not going to.
I'll just see it now. I'm going to say that. He definitely ain't getting through. And congratulations on a good show, good night. And we look forward to seeing some big cards in 2016. So cracking cards.
And we're going to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Thanks everybody for supporting BoxNation. Wish them all a happy New Year and a healthy New Year. And big announcement first week of January.
Give us a clue what it is, Frank. Can't leave us on a cliffhanger like that.
We're going to somebody. Billy Lyre's going to get found out.
I'm not commenting on that. I'm going. Happy Christmas, Frank. See you soon. Thank you, mate.
Andy Lee versus Billy Joe Saunders, the WBO World Middleweight Championship, December 19th at the Manchester Arena. Tickets on sale now at frankwarren.com, or to watch on TV, subscribe at BoxNation.com.